How to draw corn on the cob with markers. Welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. Today I'm going to show you how to draw this cute little corn on the cob step by step. This is an easy drawing lesson for kids, beginners, and kids of all ages. Hi everyone, welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. My name is Rain. In this series, Alphabet Soup, we choose a letter from the alphabet and we draw food that starts with that letter. So let's draw. This is what you'll need for today's drawing. You'll need a piece of paper. I have my dollar store drawing pad here, 11.5 inches by 8. And I've got a pencil, an eraser, I have my paintbrush to wipe off my page, and today I'm using markers. I've got yellow and I've got green. I have a black Sharpie, and for outlining I have my black fine-tipped marker. So why don't I clear off my space and we can begin. Now this is alphabet soup, so we're going to write out what we're drawing. So let's start with a capital C. There we go, and a small c. And we're going to write out corn on the cob. So let's start with a capital C, an O, an R, an N, that's corn, on is O and N, corn on. Now let's write out the word the. That's a T, H, and E. Corn on the cob. C, O, B. There we go. So we've written out corn on the cob. Let's start drawing our corn on the cob. Now this is a little bit of a complicated one, so I'm going to try my best to make it easy for you, okay? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing and we're going to be erasing and fixing and things like that. My dogs are going crazy right now. Okay, let's draw the corn. Let's draw the corn cob. Round. And we'll stop like this because we're going to add leaves, so we don't have to draw the entire cob of corn. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some lines, some round lines like this, all the way down the corn. And I'm going to try to make the spaces in between as even as I can. You know, I'm not going to put one all the way down here and have a big gap there. I want them to be quite even because this is what we're drawing here. These are the kernels of the corn. So just keep going until you get to the very bottom of your cob. Okay, now I'm going to stop there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some squiggly lines from the top, okay, to create the shape of the kernel. And watch what I'm doing. I'm going from one line to another, and I'm doing some round squiggly lines. And like I said, we're going to be erasing our pencil marks, so it's okay if it looks kind of crazy right now. It's going to look great after we outline it and color it in. See? I'm going to do that on the other side too. Make these round kind of squiggly corn lines, corny lines. There we go. Now I'm going to, you know what this looks like? This looks like Marge Simpson's hair right now. If you watch The Simpsons, I think you'll get what I mean. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to go down again and do the same thing, making these little kernels of corn. And I'm going to do this on the entire drawing, a little bit at a time. Okay, same thing on the side. And I'm kind of going at a bit of an angle here, meaning I'm not going straight down like this. I'm going kind of roundish to make sure that the kernels aren't too big. There we go. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get the whole cob kerneled up. Because you know, the kernels of corn, they're not squares. I don't know if you can hear. There's a lot of doggy movement going on in my house. Hi, Benny. My little puppy came to see me. I started training them. I call them the puppies. Benny is the young puppy who just bit on his squeak toy there. And I'll continue that in a second, but I want to tell you, up here, as soon as it gets too small, we don't add a line. So we'll start down here. You see what I mean? So what I was saying was, I had a Rottweiler named Raven, and then a couple of months ago I went to a shelter to adopt a dog so that Raven had a buddy. And there were 3 dogs there. There was a grandma, there was a mama, and her puppy. And I couldn't separate them, so I adopted all 3 of them. The mama is 2 years old. Her mama, the grandma, is 4 years old, and the puppy is 5 months old. So I call the puppy Benny, and his mama, Lucy, I call those 2 the puppies, because they need a lot of training. I started training them with treats, so Benny comes to see me all the time now, thinking he's going to get a treat. He's so cute. Okay, so how are you guys doing? How is your corn on the cob doing? So before we start erasing or anything like that, what I want to do is make the leaves, you know? So we're going to start down here and watch what I'm doing. I'm going through the actual cob. The leaf is open. And it's going to come down to around here. Another leaf here, and it's going to join that one. Okay, I hope that was easy to understand. And just a little stem here. There. Now let's do a little bit of erasing. Everything that's inside the leaves, we're going to erase. And I wanted to do the corn cob first so that we could get even kernels. I knew I was going to erase most of what I had already done because it's just easier that way. So everything in the leaves, I want you to erase. And if you erase something that you shouldn't have or that you didn't want to, just go ahead and draw it back in. Like I'm erasing some of the kernels I probably have erased that I don't want to. Okay, a little more erasing here. So I'm going to just draw back in my line here. There we go. I think that's good. But like I said, I'm eventually going to be erasing all of my pencil marks. Now what I want to do also is draw some eyes And we're going to erase in there too. So I'm drawing 2 ovals. And I want to erase inside those ovals. And I'm actually going to grab a different eraser. This is a smaller one. It's like a mechanical eraser. You know, like those pens, you just push it. It's going to be easier for me to show you what it looks like if I have a better eraser for this. But you use any eraser you want. And if you erase too much, like I said, just draw it back in. But since I'm showing you how to do this, I want to give you a good visual image. So you can see the eyes there, right? And while I'm at it, why don't I make sure I got everything off here? There. That seemed, hey guys, take it easy. That seemed a little complicated, but in the end, it wasn't really. We're just, you know, we just have to erase, that's all. So now I'm going to take my black fine liner and I'm going to outline everything. Now, watch what I'm doing before you start. I'm going to outline my squiggly lines. But you see that line there that we drew originally for the shape? I am not outlining that line. That's going to be erased, okay? Same thing on this side. I'm only outlining the squiggly line. I'm not outlining that original line that we used to shape the corn. I'm going to outline the eyes. And then I'm going to continue with the squiggly lines. And I am going to outline these lines here, the ones that we did across. We want those to be outlined as well. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and outline your corn on the cob. Try not to get too confused around the eyes. Like I said, this one it's a little more complicated. I lost my voice there. Complicated than the ones that I usually do. But sometimes I want to challenge you to do something a little more complicated than what you're used to doing. Because that's how you improve your drawing skills. Now, I'm not too concerned about following my pencil marks because I will be erasing them. But I'm going to try to stay close to what I drew before. Right now it looks like our corn on the cob has glasses. How are you guys doing? We're doing a lot of drawing today. I mean, a lot of drawing details. Drawing corn kernels is interesting. And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and just start drawing with your marker. If you're not worried about making any kind of mistakes, or go ahead and do that. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase
all of my pencil marks. Now, when you're doing this, my friends, I always tell you, make sure that your marker is dry, okay? You don't want to smudge everything everywhere. So I'm just going to lightly erase all of my pencil marks. And if I have to go over it twice, I will. Some of my markers smudged a little bit. I have a new marker, so I should have waited longer to let it dry, but that's all right. We're just having fun here, right? Lots of banging around in the background, huh? Crazy dogs. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with my yellow color. Now I'm hoping that the yellow will go on nicely and that it won't smudge with the black. Let's see how that does. I think it's going to be okay. Depending on your marker, sometimes black and yellow together, they don't work very well together, and you get kind of a dark smudge. But I think mine's going to be okay. I hope yours is going to be okay. Now, I'm not going to get any yellow into the eyes, all right, for now? Not for now, forever. I'm just going to be careful. I'm going to get all the corn a nice yellow color. The dogs are wrestling again. Sometimes they play too rough and I have to stop them because they get a little out of control and they start tearing up the place. So, but you know, they're dogs. They're sweet little puppies. And the third dog that I got, the third new dog that I adopted, she was the grandma, but she's only 4 years old, so she's sleeping right by me here. She's not into the rough play at all. She just wants to sleep and relax. Her and my Rottweiler Raven are best friends. So I have 4 dogs in the house. Now I'm going to be careful here around the eyes. Don't want to get any yellow into those eyes. Now if your yellow marker starts to smudge the black a little bit, mine did here. See, there's a little bit of black on it. I have a paper towel next to me and I kind of try to wipe it off a little. It doesn't come off completely, but it does a little bit. That's the thing with black markers. Black and yellow, I find, are the worst together for smudging. One of them just flopped down beside me. Wipe off my marker again. There we go. My corn is colored in. So I'm going to take my green and just color in, I called it the leaf, but I think it's called, is it called the stalk? Yeah, I think, oh, the husk. That's what it's called, the husk. Depending on when your corn was picked, sometimes the husk isn't green. Sometimes it's like the color of hay. But I want mine to be green because I like green and yellow together. So I always do this. This is the way I color in. I always kind of do a bit of an outline and then I color the rest in. Sounds like my dog is ripping something up that he shouldn't be, so let me just take a look over there. And yes, he's ripping up the rug, so I will be right back. The little devil was chewing up my rug. When they're puppies, they just chew on everything. And he does it when I'm not looking. When I'm right in front of him, he chews on his chew toys. But then when I'm busy, he starts chewing on my rug and my pillowcase and my sheets. But you know what? That's okay. I love him anyway. So I'm just going to color in my little corn husk here. I love these markers. They're like paint brushes. Oh, that was Lucy. She sounds like she's fed up. It's funny the sounds that they make. I'm happy to share them with you. I gave up a long time ago thinking that I could make a nice quiet video. Not when you have 4 dogs and a cat in the house. My cat is snoring actually. He's right by the window. It's nice and sunny and he's snoring. There. Just even that out a little bit. And don't forget the little stem at the bottom, that's green too. Alright, so we've got all our color applied. Now why don't we add some details? I'm going to take my black fine liner again, and I'm just going to add some pupils for the eyes. Just like that. And with my Sharpie, my black Sharpie, I use the Sharpie to color in larger areas of black so that I don't wear out my fine liner. So I'm using the Sharpie to color in the pupils. There we go. And because we have a lot going on here, I'm going to take my Sharpie for the eyebrows, okay? So the eyebrows are going to be thicker than they usually are. And I'm going to give him a big smile. Okay? And let's give him some cheeks. That's little semicircles at the side of his mouth. Now again, with my black fine liner, I'm just going to do a little bit of detail, just some lines. That's all I'm doing. I am going to sign my work now. My friends, I want you to sign your work. I want you to be very proud of the beautiful work of art that you just created. This was a little bit more complicated than usual, so you should be extra proud. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, my friends, and we'll see you next time on Alphabet Soup. Thanks for watching. Bye.